Welcome back to my channel, all my haunted followers. Guys, first and foremost, I'd like to say welcome to my new subscribers. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing. I try to upload a video every other Friday, and if you have not done so yet and you're watching this video, please like and subscribe down at the bottom. Guys, cryptids, monsters, creatures, whatever you want to call them, they are definitely our things of nightmares. And these stories, we will definitely get a good sense of what these creatures are or what they're not. As always, sit back and prepare to get scared. Some stories you never forget, and this is one of them. This happened to me about 2 years ago. I was on my motorcycle driving down a very rural street. I mean, there was no cars on the road. Mind you, this is about 11:30 or 12 o'clock. I was, again, riding by myself. I was coming up to a very deserted street. I decided, hey, whatever, I'll take it. My mistake. It's a very patchy, well, messed up road, if you will. About 3 to 5 feet away from me, there was this white creature just standing in the road. At first, I really thought it was just a person, so I went to go around them. That's when this thing grabbed me and threw me off my bike. I was shocked. I wasn't traveling very fast, very slow. Mind you, it was no dirt bike, just a motorcycle, but it kicked me off. I fell to the ground, and within the seconds, I had this thing on top of me. I can't, and I don't want to remember this creature, but I can tell you, it was all white, very pale and very skinny looking, and its teeth were razor sharp, almost like needles. It kept on trying to choke me, but I kept on kicking and kicking. Finally, I was able to get this thing off me, get onto my bike, and speed off. But that's not all. That's not over. The story isn't over. This thing started chasing me. I was able to get onto the main road and crank it. I was going, I swear, 90 miles an hour, and this thing kept up. I think the only reason it gave up was because it saw another car coming. It darted into the woods. And that's the last thing, or the last time I ever saw it. I'm sorry for the very short story, but I'm not making this up, and I wasn't on a hallucination or hallucinating drugs or drinking. I saw what I saw, and I don't understand. I can't imagine if I hadn't been able to fight it off. Who knows? Who knows what this thing would have done to me? I know many people go missing, and if this creature is, or multiple creatures, he might be the reason. Fear. It's an amazing thing, isn't it? That moment of total chills that stops your heart for a second. This happens when we are so scared by something, our minds temporarily shut down. I want to tell you a story that happened to me a few summers ago. My boyfriend and I went for a hike, and it was an amazing day. That was until we saw it. It was the most frightening thing I have ever seen. We were walking the trail, and we saw maybe 50 feet ahead of us something. At first, we thought it was someone with a giant backpack on, or a person on all black. But they were walking very funny. I thought to myself, oh, another drunk person. As we got closer, it dawned on both of us that this person wasn't a person at all, but a goat. A goat-like man. It stood well over 8 feet tall. It had the lower half of a goat and the upper half of a very built person, except with a goat head. I thought it was someone with an elaborate costume at first. That was until it started to chase us. And chased us, it did. I have never ran so fast. This thing was on the both of us in a matter of seconds, screaming and roaring more like it. It kept looking back. I kept looking back at this most evil looking thing. It had its eyes gazing directed at me. I felt like I was about to die. If it wasn't for us jumping over a small ledge into a stream, this thing would have gotten both of us. In the process, I sprained my ankle and my friend broke his arm, but that didn't stop us from limping back to our vehicle. Once we were finally in our vehicle, the pain set in and the fear drowned from our bodies. We could actually hear this thing in the distance. My boyfriend peeled out of those woods, and we have never been there since. Can anyone explain to us, what the hell we saw? Something is out there. Something that maybe we should never discover. This is my story about it. No, not the clown. I call it, because I have no idea what the heck I saw. I was driving down the highway one night. It appeared as I was the only car on the road at the current moment. That was when I saw something fly over my car. It was pale and had wings. At first, I thought it was a sheet or something, maybe caught in the wind. Then, 50 feet in front of my car, I slammed on my brakes because this thing was sitting in the middle of the road, eating a deer. I could literally see the deer struggling. The best way I can describe it was pale, had bat-looking wings, a head shaped like a point, and a long beak with razor-sharp teeth, black eyes, and a tail that appeared to be more reptile than anything. Had long arms with giant claws. Even with my headlights on it, it just kept doing the deed of eating the poor deer. I would say it had a wingspan of 18 to 20 feet. It dragged the deer to the side of the road like nothing. I watched in horror as this thing kept looking at me, like, move on, nothing to see here. So I did. I took off as fast as I could. Can anyone please explain to me what I saw, and what the heck is out there? I have to tell this story to someone that maybe understands what I've been seeing, and of course, it won't be reported because my boss is trying to cover it up. I'm a 22-year-old male, and I work for a local cemetery. My job is a basic groundskeeper, but for the past 2 months, something has been digging our graves up. No, not grave diggers or grave robbers. The graves appear to be clawed at. At first, we thought it was kids or some wild animal. Until 2 weeks ago, I caught sight of what has been doing it, and man, I wish I didn't. I had to work late, digging a hole for an upcoming burial. It was about 8 or so. It had just gotten dark. I was by myself, and then I heard it. Over the backhoe motor, screaming, growling. I turned off the motor and peered around. At first, I didn't see anything, until about 20 feet in front of me, I saw this most ungodly creature. It looked like something out of a horror movie. Half dog, half decay. I could see its skull, white and bleached as bone. It had these long horns, and it was really skinny, almost like that Pokemon, Houndoom. It's my best description. It was crawling, clawing at the grave, like a wild animal. Then it stopped, and started to sniff the air. Then it looked over its shoulder in this unnatural way. I could actually hear the bones cracking, its mouth drooling with some ooze of some sort. I could even see eyes. It turned around so fast and started running at me. I jumped off the backhoe and ran for the funeral home, ran inside and slammed the door behind me. I heard this thing howling outside and running around the perimeter of the house. Then it was gone. I waited a few moments and looked out the window. I couldn't see anything. I've never ran so fast to my car. I got in, and I haven't returned to that place since. My boss denies everything and just tells me to shut up. He's afraid that it'll be bad for business. But anyone who lives in local Alabama Something is eating our dead. One thing is for sure, monsters are real, and seeing is believing. I know a lot of people have a hard time with this concept, and that without evidence, you can't grasp the possibility of something existing. When I was 17, which was some time ago, I was on a camping trip with my parents, which was actually very frequent. It was almost a weekend thing during the summer. Boy, do I miss those days. My parents are so far gone, and I wish I could turn the clock back, but I will get back onto topic. We camped in those woods, and that sat bought hundreds of times without incident. One weekend, my parents needed to get more wood and catch some dinner in the local pond. I was by myself. I was sitting on the logs when I heard something walking through the trees behind me. Thinking it was my parents, I turned to greet them. But I was shocked to see this black creature. The only way I can even describe it was something like this. Its back legs were short, the fronts were longer. It had these extremely long horns with these spikes on its back. Remember that movie, The Dark Crystal? That's almost what those things kind of look like. Well, this thing, sorry, I don't know the names of them. It was just casually walking like it didn't care who saw it. I just stayed completely still as I watched this thing just walk away. To this day, I don't know what I saw, or what actually it was, but what bothers me was how casual this thing was. Almost like some temporary portal opened up and this thing just wandered through it, and then just decided to take a stroll. Maybe that's where these things are coming from. Some other dimension. Maybe that's the explanation that we will soon come to realize, because that creature is not meant for this world. Well, all my haunted followers, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video and those stories. I really do appreciate everyone who sent me a story, especially all the Reddit users. Guys, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to have this channel right now or share your stories. Guys, cryptids, monsters, whatever you want to call them. You know, I truly like the last story when he mentioned that he thinks they're from another dimension. And that's a good point. What if these creatures are from another dimension? What if they're from another world and they accidentally slip into our world or slip into our dimension? You know, it points to many things. There's a good possibility that they truly are from another dimension. And I really do enjoy that. I really do like thinking that. Because some of these creatures are unmanageable. They're beyond thinking. They're beyond our perception. What are they and where they come from? I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think it's our job to know. It's our job to avoid these because, like I've said, and a lot of people in their story said, they're aggressive, especially the gentleman who was attacked, or the poor deer who was attacked by that said creature. Guys, what I'm looking for next is some more paranormal stories, your encounters with paranormal, ghosts, whatever have you. I think there'll be another video. After that, I want to do another werewolf story, because that was a very popular video of mine. So another werewolf story would be great. Let's do another vampire. And I would like to do another zombie video. Your stories about zombies, your possible encounters with zombies, if possible. Guys, as always, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe down at the bottom. Again, I try to upload every other Friday. This video is early, thank God. And as always, happy hauntings.